Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to implement saving functionality from the Save Toolbox package into a pre-existing game. So I'll show you what this game is like currently. It's a very basic space shooter. I'll click play. You can fly around and shoot rocks, and I've set up a custom component to save and load the game whenever I press the 1 or 2 keys on my keyboard. As you can see, I'm trying to save and load, but nothing is actually happening. So let's change this. Let's stop playing. And we could do this in any order we want, but we want to find all the different entities in the game that we want to save. So we'll start off with saving the player. Player is nice and easy. We'll just want to save the position and rotation, so we'll add an STB transform, and that will save the position and rotation. Now we'll want to save rigid body data as well, so we'll add a rigid body 2D, and this will save all the state data of the rigid body on the player. Player's done. Nice. Now to the rocks. Because we've got a bunch of rock prefabs in the scene, we'll want to enter the prefab to change it. We'll want to save the position and rotation again like the player, so we'll add an STB transform. We'll want to save the rigid body, 2D, just like the player. We'll also want to add a STB hierarchy component because this allows us to unparent objects from the rock and reparent them when we load. And this is because we unparent the particle system when we destroy the rock. So we also want to add a STB game object because we disable the rock when we shoot it. So we'll add this, and then we only care about the load is active status on that. Go to the particle system below it, and we'll add a STB hierarchy like we did onto the rock. And this is so that you can reparent it to the rock when we load the game. So now if we come out of the rock prefab, we will see that the identifiers on the savable components are all duplicates. This is because we added the components after the fact that the prefab is already in the scene. Normally it will regenerate them for us when you drag a prefab in, but we can regenerate them ourselves by going to Tools, Save Toolbox, and Editor Tools. Get all objects with duplicate IDs, and these are all the components that we just added to all the rock prefab. We can click generate new identifiers for all the behaviors. And now if we look through all the prefabs, we'll see they all have unique identifiers. And if we were to drag a new prefab into the scene, it would also have a unique identifier. So that works fine. So now we want to save data on the game controller. We want to use an SDB, sorry, getting the name wrong here. We want to use an SDB component saver. If we grab that, we can add a new component. Because this is a custom script, we want to save custom data. We will want to save the player score, and we'll also want to save the end game time, because the end game time is what happens when we destroy all the rocks, and it's how long of a wait we want between starting a new game. So we want to save that state as well. Okay, there's just one more thing to save, and that will be the projectile that the ship fires. So we can find it in the assets. If it's a prefab, it's if we go inside the prefab, we can add a loadable object because this is going to want to be spawned at runtime. The save toolbox is going to have to find it in the database. We're also going to want to add a transform to save the position. We're also going to want to add a rigid body 2D as well to save the velocity of the projectile. And we're also going to want to add a component saver because we need to save some custom data, and that is on the space shooter projectile, and we're going to want to save the lifetime duration. The lifetime duration of the projectile is just how long it stays alive once we shoot it. Obviously, if we load a projectile that's already in the scene, we don't want to reset that life cycle back to 5 seconds. So if we leave there, we're going to want to go to the loadable object database, and we can refresh it and I'll add it to the database. There's also a null entry in here. Normally you should be careful when you rebuild, but because we don't have a save already, I can fully rebuild and it won't break anything. So I'm going to do that to remove the null value. Now if we click play, we should be able to save and load the game. So I'll play, I'll try shoot a rock. I shot the rock, I will save. And now if I shoot another rock, and then I load. It will load the state of the game that it was at when we last saved. And we can do that as many times as we want. It's very quick because it's quite a small game, so we can just spam load if we like. It will also load the projectile that was spawned when we saved. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.